Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another interview. This time my guest will be Parky from Parky Games. We will be talking about indie games and his personal dream, voice acting. So Parky, what appeals you to indie games so much?
Well, I think the thing about indie games is the fact that, unfortunately, in today's market of gaming, in my opinion, all of the big games I know Call of Duty is a bit of a classic example, but things like Borderlands 2, for example, everything is based upon like the previous version of the game, and I always think that like these really big game titles are really just they're so similar and almost generic now to the point where I don't find them interesting. So the nice thing about indie games, in my opinion, is the fact that they're sort of built with love, aren't they? In a way,
Yeah.
they're sort of you can always tell with an indie game that it's not going to be like any other game that you've seen, or if it is, only similar in a very slight way. And there's just a lot more room for variety in like storyline, graphics, and all these other things. And I think that's what I like about them. They're sort of always bringing fresh ideas to the table.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you look at all the latest Call of Duties, they feel like just mere expansion packs of each other. Like,
Yeah, that's right.
take Minecraft and Terraria, games built on the
hmm
same principle actually, and they're still completely different.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Call of Duty is a bit of a bad example of that, but I
Yeah.
think people get my point. Like all indie games are pretty different.
Yeah, but in indie games, there's a phenomena that's out of the blue when indie game becomes hugely popular, and its popularity drops rather quickly again. Do you got any explanation for this?
Um, that's a pretty difficult question, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think,
I've been
to
wondering for
be
a while.
honest, no, like to be honest, I think that it's completely random and luck. And I know that's such a cop out as like an answer to the question, but I don't really think there is any real reason. Like perhaps a reason that maybe a game would drop in popularity quickly is the fact that maybe they don't update it, or the idea is good, like the initial game idea is good, but it doesn't sort of hold the audience very well. Like Minecraft, for example, that game is done very well because they keep bringing out updates for it. And the updates generally contain quite large game changing things like a new biome or like a new bit of redstone stuff or whatever. And it keeps the game fresh. Whereas I think a lot of indie games and the developers make the bad decision to sort of go, right, we've made the game now, let's just patch it and then leave it. And I think that's a very bad thing to do because I think that's why people get bored of them. But I suppose that's sort of my waffly answer to that one.
Yeah, Minecraft is one of the most popular indie games ever, I think.
Yeah, I would say so.
That might be one of the reasons why.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very important thing to keep updating them.
Yeah, actually, what are your all-time favorite indie games?
Okay, now this is probably going to cause a bit of controversy with people, but and it's probably going to be fairly obvious. I've got probably three that I can think of. The first being Towns. Now, Towns was good. Obviously, I've played it on my channel, and that was quite a popular series, especially since it got green lighted on Steam. But the thing about Towns is, I liked it to the point at which, in the patches I played it on my channel. But the more recent patches, I really think they've been ruining the game. I think they've added things that really aren't very good or beneficial to the game. They're just sort of like adding random items and mechanics, like the scrolling through the terrain levels, and it's just, I don't know, I don't like it. But yeah, and then also Unmechanical. Now that's another game that I have played on my channel. That is a sort of puzzle game, but that is like really good. I think that's a very good game. And also Tiny and Big, Grandpa's Leftovers. Now I don't know whether you've ever heard of this,
No,
but
I haven't.
it sounds ridiculous, but honestly, it's just such a good game, and I don't know why. I think really it's one of those ones where you've got to just play it yourself to get the feel of it.
Yeah, I'll take your advice and look it up. So
Yeah.
if you use it and you know a lot more than any case about me than me, so I knew the first two
Uh,
ones, but
yeah.
the name is quite mystical. It has a certain
Indeed.
appeal. And you're also quite a big Minecraft player.
Yes.
Minecraft's, of course, one of the indie games that's still very popular after its release. There are countless mods and texture packs for it. There's a really big community, but one of its assets, I think, are its adventure maps. Could you give just a brief explanation?
Yeah, and I think this is another thing about Minecraft, which it's done very right. Obviously, it's a sandbox game which is based on a world which is randomly generated, which people can pick up, break, and like place blocks and do all kinds of fantastic things now with the more recent patches. And I think the good thing about a sandbox game that they've done in particular on Minecraft is that they've built it in such a way where it's very easy and accessible for people to build things that are in their minds. So like you can picture something, and because obviously everything's made out of blocks and there's only so much detail you can put into things, you can build it, which obviously gives a lot of room for people to start making adventure maps. And what do people enjoy more than going on an adventure with their friends in a game? Because I know that for me personally, the best thing about games is playing with my friends on them. So I think adventure maps on Minecraft are very good, especially for people on YouTube as well, because I think it's become sort of more like a way of people expressing a story that they've got in mind, and then people can, like me and Kips, for example, can make videos on a custom adventure map and share it with other people. And I think it's all about that sharing, and I think that's why people enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a tendency you see like the past few years, in my opinion. The more co-op, the more interaction between players, the better the game gets, because you get to share it. You can share a laugh, you can share a cry if you die, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would completely agree with
that. Yeah, you're also making your own map, am I right? Or you were?
Yes. I still am sort of on and off. But see, this is the thing. It's another sort of bane of my existence, this map, because I've got this lovely idea in my mind, and basically, I'm sure everyone really wants to hear about this. But I made a few videos on my channel, and the idea was that I was going to create a post-apocalyptic map in Minecraft that was going to be as realistic in terms of the terrain as I could possibly make it. And it was sort of done with a sort of Fallout 3 style texture pack. So it kind of looked pretty good for like Minecraft 16-bit, pixel weirdness. But basically, I'm sort of on and off in building that. So I don't want to give too much away, because obviously if I carry on to building it, then I'm going to make more videos, and I don't want to give spoilers about that. But it's 50-50 at this point, and that's all I can really say about that one.
Actually, I've seen the videos about it. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I've seen like the underground and stuff. So.
Yeah, I think the thing about it is it's a very time-consuming thing, because you basically got to build the buildings in perfect condition. Then you've got to blow them up, and then you've got to like make the details on the blown up bits so that they don't look so blocky, so they look more realistic. It just takes bloody forever, which is, that's the problem.
Yeah, I can imagine. But another part of your channel is, it states that you are available for voice acting work. Why do you have this interest in voice acting?
This is a nice idea that I have in my mind, which is probably never going to come to fruition, which is the fact that people in my life have told me that I have an interesting voice to listen to, and also I love. I know we've got some other questions about this coming up, which would probably be better to explain it in. But for this question, I think I'm just going to say that I just like the idea of having my voice in a game and people listening to a character with my voice. I think it would be hilarious.
Well, you have a very nice voice.
Thank you very much.
You sound very kind, very understanding. So thank you for bearing me already. Yeah, I've heard you with shenanigans on Malekith's channel.
Oh,
it took you literally, I think, 15 seconds before you started bashing on Kips.
Yeah. Yeah. I tend to be quite a fun-loving person on my channel. I don't really take myself too seriously, so I kind of just take the mickey out of everyone and everything.
Why is it? Never take life too seriously. You won't get out
Exactly.
alive anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That's right.
Did you do any voice acting already, or is it just still an idea?
Um, Now this is weird because someone basically on a website asked me to do the tutorial videos, like the actual like voice acting for that, and it got done, but I haven't seen them been put up. So I don't know whether the website is like still under maintenance or what's going on, or if they just fell through. But I have, but not that anyone can see, if that makes sense. Which is not very good in terms of a track record, is it? But there we go.
It's some experience at least.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah.
Although I suppose unless you count YouTube as voice acting as well, I suppose it kind of is in a weird way, but not really.
If you mimic one of your characters, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not really, is it? At all?
Maybe do you have like any voice actors in particular you look up to?
Um. Well, there's one that I can think of, which was I don't know whether you played Guild Wars 2 a lot, but I did. And in the I can't even remember the name of it now. I think it's the Assassin's Guild, or don't quote me on that if you're a big fan. Tybalt Leftpaw was like your trainer, and he was like this big cat person, but he had like an epic voice, and he was done by Jim Ward. And like Jim Ward has done other things in other games. I probably can't even quote what he's done, but I tend to like him. I just remember that voice in the game as being one that I favourably remember.
The fact that you already know the name is worth something.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Maybe.
I got a quite creative final question for you. If you
Okay.
if you could do the voice acting of anything or anyone you wanted, who or what would you pick?
Oh my god.
Anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to give you a serious answer for this one. I would very much, for some reason, like to do a voice of someone in a Borderlands game. And I think that Borderlands characters tend to have a very sort of interesting personality in general, and it's all quite sort of fun and light-hearted. I don't think if I was going to do voice acting, I want to do something like really serious. I think it'd have to be like or maybe actually saying that in a Fable 3 game, or like a Fable, I don't know if you ever played like Fable 2 or Fable 3. The voice actors in that, I know a few of them were done by like Simon Pegg and like other people, Stephen Fry. And I don't know, I just want something fun. I'm not going to give you a specific character because I kind of don't want to steal anyone's job. Like maybe someone with like a monocle or a classic sort of over the top British person would be quite nice. Yeah,
it would suit you.
in general,
in general, it's like a character of a fun-loving criminal.
Yes, like exactly. Yeah, someone who like steps on kittens for a living, but in sort of a playful manner.
The mental image of that.
Yeah, it's not a very good one, is it? You get images with me, unfortunately.
Maybe we could mix that up, like an old school British gentleman with a top hat and monocle who steps on two little ducks or something.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be horrific, wouldn't it? My God.
I think we just have made a new character for a game.
Yeah, get on that, game developers. Get on it.
It's free. We'll make it free as long as you get Parky for it.
Yeah, as long as I do the voice acting, you can have that idea.
Well, it was fun to talk with you, Parky. Thank you for making some time for me, and maybe I'll see you another time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I hope I answered the questions in a moderately respectable manner.
It's okay. See you, man.